Alright, what's up? So, I'm going to be talking about opposite hitter today. This is going to be a pretty short guide because there's not much to cover. Most of it's already been covered in a few videos, but I'm just going to go a little in-depth into what to do as an opposite hitter and how they actually just play in general. I main opposite hitter now, and I used to main setter, but I switched because, well, I don't know, I just wanted to. So, yeah, now we're going to get into what an opposite hitter does. So, first things first, basics. I want to talk about where an opposite hitter stands. So, it's called opposite because this is usually where the setter stands or this is usually where the setter starts on rotation, and this is where the opposite will start because you're always opposite to the setter. So an opposite hitter only exists when your team is running a 5-1 formation. So a 5-1 formation is basically 5 hitters and 1 setter. All right. So, and in contrast to a 4-2, where in a 4-2 you have 4 hitters and 2 setters. So you'll have 1 hitter here on a 4-2, you'll have 1 hitter here on a 4-2, and your setter will stand in the middle. Whereas in a 5-1 formation where there's 5 hitters and 1 setter, you'll have an opposite on your right, you'll have a middle, well, in the middle, and you'll have an outside hitter on the left side. So it gives you 3 attacking options along with the back, so with a pipe. So I think that's what a lot of people use, so I'm going to be explaining that. Let's get right into it. So opposite hitter, like I said, stands on the right, and the one really unique thing about opposite hitter is no matter where you are, back row or front row, you still hit the ball. You can still spike. You can still get set to. So if you're in the back row, you usually get set over here-ish, around here, like this. So you can glide into it. So I don't know if I can show you, but you get set over here. You glide into it and then you hit it. So I don't have a setter to demonstrate with me, but you can do sets like this. And it allows you to hit from back row. And when you're on the front row, you can hit it like this. So just basic spiking stuff, all right? Now to get into specific opposite stuff, I'm going to start with a little bit of defense, and then I'm going to move on to the actual spiking part. So for defense, what you really want to do is on serve receive, you want to try to receive over here on the right side near the middle, and your libero will cover the longs over here most of the time, but based on your team's formation and playstyle, you can change that up. But by default, you want to be able to cover the right side and receive to your setter on the right side over here. So try going for something like this, and make sure it lands on your setter. So yeah, now for a normal cover, what you want to do, let's say you're in the back row and you want to cover cuts over here, so crosses like this, right? Because your libero will be covering here, your outside will be covering here, your middle will be blocking, and your setter will be blocking. So your other outside will cover here most of the time, and you'll have to cover over here because that's the one place that's open for a cross, because your setter will be blocking this straight over here. So that's like the default receive formation, a cover formation. And if I have a clip, I will pull it up on screen right now. So that's just like how you basically receive, and it allows you to cover as well as spike pretty well. Now, moving on to, like I said, other sort of play styles or receiving formation. So let's say your setter and your middle is forcing a straight. So like this, they block the crosses and the cuts over here, and they force a straight. So when they force a straight, you want to stay on the line, or you want to stay on the straight, and you want to receive it. Your libero will be taking crosses and cuts, and you shall be taking your straights. Okay. So now let's say let's talk about the front row. So if you're in the front row and the team is like, the ball goes to the other side of the net, what you want to do is same as the setter. You want to block the straights and block the path for the spike. Okay, you don't have to always do a shut out spike, or I mean a kill block, right? So that's why I use iron wall. It allows me to get like a more pressure on the block and a bigger hitbox in case I don't cover the antenna completely. So one thing you can do is just block straights, and you'll usually block them, and you got to be careful of your timing most of the time. This is just basic blocking stuff. You got to be careful with your timing, and don't let them dunk on you. So the one tip I can give you for blocking is you hold D or A before you jump, so it gives you that jump boost, where usually you'd have to do a full approach and you'll get this jump boost. But with when you hold D or A and then jump, it still gives you the same height just without having to do the run up. So that's like the basics of blocking and what you do on front row. On front row, usually what you want to do is decoy sometimes, and you want to try to prioritize using quicks on the front row, because number one, oppo quicks are really free, because usually the outside isn't expecting it, the outside who's on the other side, so they won't usually be blocking quicks all the time, because they'll be watching the receive on your outside hitter, so they'll be watching the sharp cuts here. So usually they won't jump for it, and mostly you want to go for straights. So you want to look for the straight line over here and try to hit that as much as you can, because you have a really free spot, and with quicks you can do that really easily. and you would try aiming for longs. So I usually play cuts like this in the front row. I play cuts or I play wipes. But depending on your playstyle, you can change that up and play straights and slams. I don't recommend going slams because your outside will be standing right in front of you. So I just suggest go there or somewhere around here. But that's just about spiking. I'm just talking about how to hit the set. So for opposite, there's two sets. There's a front row, medium, or delay. Okay, so this is like the basic sets. So as an opposite, you'll get this sort of set, which will be like just a normal high set to you. There'll be a really high set, which is well, not used much, but it's used in some teams. And then there is a quick. So a quick would look like this. And then the same goes for back row. So since you're in the back row, you can only jump behind this line. That's what's so unique about Oppo, where you can spike without being in the front row. Whereas with outside, you have to rotate with two of them, right? So you jump behind this line, and then you spike it. So your setter usually sets you around here, around this, around the X over here, so this intersection, or over here, depending on your playstyle. So usually it'd be something like this, but a little higher. Something like that. I kind of suck right now because it's like 4 a.m. But it'd be something like that. So if I were to show you how I'd hit that, go from here, and then hit it like that. So you always want to make sure you approach, I mean, you jump before this line. You can also approach like this and try to go for like a cut over here, but I don't really recommend going for like this because sometimes it blocks the path of your straights. So if I can show you, okay, I fucked it up, but you get the point. So it sometimes just blocks the path of your straights, and I don't suggest running up like this unless you're gonna go for a super cut like this. So what you want to usually do is just jump from this spot here. So you have three options. You have a slam on the right side. You have a slam on the right side over here, if I can hit it. Wait. Oh my god. So you have a slam on the right side over here. You have a cross in the middle. Like that. You have a cross like that. And you also have a sharp cut from the back row. Like that. So, although you won't be able to be as precise from the back row, you can still spike it. And you can always just decoy. So, decoying is also one big part of being an opposite hitter, where whenever you decoy, let's say you're a really good scorer, you're really good at scoring, and the one thing that the other team does is look at you a lot. So you can decoy a lot, and your middle can also decoy a slide, so the blockers over here jump, and then you can hit a medium. So if they decoy the slide, they jump, and then you just hit over them like that. So, I mean, that's really the basics of opposite hitter. It's pretty easy, just understanding what to do when. And like I said, you want to usually aim for straights. When straights are completely blocked, one thing you can take advantage of is wipes, because of how close you are and how easy how fast the set comes at you. So if they try to block you, you can just look at them and then aim in sort of this sort of angle, and try to look a little high up, so they get wiped and it drops over here. Or you can do like this really crazy wipes and go like this, which I do a lot of, but that depends on the blocker completely, based on the blocker's playstyle. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is just builds in general, because a lot of people need builds. So the one build I run is 6'8" and boom jump iron wall. I suggest going for like taller heights, somewhere around 6'6" to 6'9" is what I'd say, or 6'8", because you don't need much airtime as an oppo, because you'll be hitting quicks most of the time, and you'll also need a good amount of power. But the one exception to an opposite hitter, sometimes with a short height, is your receiving hitbox. So if you're highly defensive opposite, then you can go a shorter height for a more receiving, but you'll also be blocking most of the time. So, and you'll be blocking like the outside, so you need a good amount of height to block that, and you don't have much time for a run up. So if you were to go like a short height, you'd have to take time to reach your peak, and you'd still be able to block them, but it would be really inconsistent compared to a tall height. And I think serving is also really good with just a high height, with like a tall height, which is just personal preference, but I think serving is really nice with a tall height. So for weapons, I suggest going boom jump. 100% you need. I think boom jump is really good. Don't go full approach, because full approach only gives you 75% of your full jump, is what I've learned recently, and that's why I switched from full approach to boom jump. So you can go boom jump, and it gives you this a good amount of airtime even on a tall height, so you have more time for decision making, and it also allows you to wipe easier. You can, so the next options other than boom jump is powerful, block breaker, and not iron wall. Powerful, block breaker, and ricochet. Okay, these are the 3 spiking weapons. So a lot of people prefer block breaker, but I think it's really readable after you use it a few times. So, and it's really hard to hit most of the time because you have to aim at their hands, like exactly at their hands. So I suggest going something like Ricochet if you really want to, but again, Ricochet doesn't make much of a difference. You're better off going powerful because Ricochet right now is just really, really bad. At the time of this recording, at least. So, if you're gonna end up doing a lot of wipes, I suggest just take powerful. And if not, then go like a more defensive trait or defensive weapons such as Safeguard or Iron Wall like I am. You can also go Quick Step, but that depends on your playstyle. So yeah, your main weapons that you should be going are powerful and anything defensive. Powerful, block breaker, or anything defensive. I don't suggest Ricochet at all because it's like ass. It's absolute ass right now. So yeah, I mean, that's really all for the opposite guide. I hope you guys enjoyed, and please drop a comment if you have any other suggestions or if you have any feedback. Just let me know. Make sure you join the Discord in the Discord below in the description, and say hi to me in the Discord. You can always look at the other links and stuff. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe. It's always free to unsubscribe if you don't like my content, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.